In Antarctica, the coldest and most unforgiving place on our planet, life somehow finds a way. Imagine icy winds blowing at more than 100 miles per hour and temperatures dropping below 60 degrees. Yet here, in this frozen desert of endless snow and ice, a remarkable story of survival and family unfolds. It is the story of the emperor penguins, the only birds brave enough to raise their young in the heart of this frozen wilderness. As winter tightens its icy grip, thousands of penguins gather on the frozen sea, forming colonies. The males and females pair up, their calls echoing across the ice as they find each other among the crowd. Once a bond is formed, the female lays a single, precious egg. An egg that holds the promise of life in a place where survival is nearly impossible. But here is the twist. After laying the egg, the mother cannot stay. She has exhausted her energy reserves. She must leave for the distant ocean, trekking across miles of frozen wasteland to feed and regain her strength. The survival of the egg now rests entirely on the father's shoulders. The fathers take on the ultimate responsibility. Each male penguin carefully tucks the fragile egg onto his feet, covering it with a special flap of skin called a brood pouch. For the next 2 months, through darkness, storms, and bitter cold, he will stand there, without food, without moving, shielding his chick from the deadly ice. And as the days turn into weeks, the Antarctic winter grows even harsher. But the real challenge has only just begun. How do these devoted fathers protect their unborn chicks, when the cold could freeze them solid in minutes? For emperor penguin fathers, survival means unity. To withstand the merciless storms, they huddle together in massive groups, thousands of males pressed beak to feather, forming what scientists call the penguin huddle. In this shifting circle of warmth, every bird takes a turn on the cold outer edge, slowly rotating inward to share the heat of the group. Each penguin protects the egg balanced carefully on his feet. Just a single slip could mean disaster. The egg would freeze to death in less than a minute if exposed to the icy ground. So the fathers stand still, balancing, waiting, and enduring. Weeks pass. The sun never rises, and darkness swallows the Antarctic plains. The fathers grow thinner and weaker. They haven't eaten since their mates left, surviving only on stored body fat. Yet through the hunger and exhaustion, they remain steadfast guardians of fragile life. Then one day, a tiny sound breaks the silence of the endless night. From beneath the father's brood pouches, faint peeps emerge. The chicks are hatching. After nearly 2 months of waiting, the miracle of life begins to unfold. The fathers lean low, listening. At last, a small, downy chick struggles free, blinking into the freezing darkness. The fathers have succeeded against all odds. But their work is far from over, because now the tiny chicks must somehow survive in the coldest place on Earth. But just as the chicks hatch, the fathers face their greatest test. Weak, starving, and near collapse, how will they feed their young before the mothers return from the ocean? The chicks are born into a world of darkness, hunger, and cold. Their tiny bodies are covered in soft grey down, with barely enough warmth to withstand the freezing air for more than a few seconds. Without food, they will not survive. But the fathers haven't eaten in months, so how could they possibly feed their chicks? Incredibly, nature has given these fathers a hidden gift. Deep inside their throats, a special gland allows them to produce a nutrient-rich substance known as crop milk. It's not true milk, but it's enough to keep the newborns alive, just until their mothers return. The fathers, weak and starving themselves, give everything they have to their young. Each drop of crop milk is precious, and the chicks peep hungrily, their tiny beaks opening wide with desperate need. But the clock is ticking. The fathers can only provide this emergency food for a short time. If the mothers do not return from the ocean soon, both the chicks and their fathers may perish. And then, at last, a familiar cry breaks through the howling wind. From the distant ice, shapes appear. The mothers are coming back, after months at sea, their bellies full of fish and krill for the starving families they left behind. But with their return comes another challenge, the harshest test of trust and recognition. In a colony of thousands, how will a mother find her chick, and how will the chick know its mother's voice? The frozen air fills with deafening cries. Thousands of mothers return all at once, their voices echoing across the icy plains. Each one carries a belly full of food, desperately searching for her chick. But in this sea of black and white feathers, how can one penguin possibly find her family? The answer lies in something extraordinary: sound. Every penguin has a unique call, like a voice print, that can be recognized even among tens of thousands. The mother calls out, her head tilted back, releasing a cry only her chick can truly understand. The chick, shivering beneath its father's warmth, hears the sound it has been waiting for. With surprising strength it squeaks back, answering the call. Slowly, the mother pushes her way through the wall of penguins, following the faint cries of her baby. Finally, they meet. The mother lowers her beak, and the chick stumbles forward, chirping with joy. For the first time, the father steps aside. His long vigil is over. Exhausted and starving, he can finally return to the sea. The mother opens her beak and regurgitates a meal of fish and krill, freshly caught from the ocean. The chick, ravenous, after days of waiting, eagerly swallows every mouthful. Its tiny body grows stronger with each bite, fueled by the food that only its mother could bring. But life in Antarctica never gets easier. The chicks may have survived birth, hunger and cold, but their greatest challenges are still to come: snowstorms, predators, and the fight to grow strong enough to live on their own. As the weeks pass, the chicks grow rapidly. Their fluffy grey down begins to shed, replaced by sleek black and white feathers. This new coat is more than just beautiful, it is waterproof, their shield against the icy seas. But growing up in Antarctica is never easy. Storms sweep across the ice, covering the land in blinding snow. The chicks huddle together for warmth, forming massive groups called creches. In this circle of life, safety comes not from one, but from many. Predators too lurk in the shadows. Giant skuas circle above, waiting for a chance to snatch an unguarded chick. But with hundreds of vigilant parents nearby, every attack is met with a wall of defiance, beaks snapping and wings striking. Finally, the day comes when the chicks no longer need their parents' protection. The sea, which once seemed distant and frightening, now calls to them. They gather at the edge of the ice, staring at the crashing waves, sensing their destiny. One brave chick takes the first leap, diving into the freezing waters. Soon, the others follow, one after another, until the ocean is alive with splashes. They swim instinctively, their new feathers carrying them like torpedoes through the waves. From fragile eggs in the freezing dark, to strong swimmers ready to face the vast ocean, the life cycle of the emperor penguin is a story of survival, love and resilience. In the coldest place on Earth, these gentle parents raise the toughest chicks, ensuring that the cycle of life continues, year after year.